Good afternoon to all of you that are joining us from the UK and Europe, Middle East. We've also got some people joining from APAC, so good evening to you, and also from across the pond in North America. So good morning to you. Hopefully it's not too much of an early start, because all I know is you've come from the US, whether that's East Coast or West Coast, I don't know. It's great to have everybody here today. We're talking to two of the team from Admiral, Ellie and Ben, which is going to be great because Admiral is a business that many of you in the UK will know as a very high profile insurance group, but it's not just in the UK, there are 18 brands across the world. For those of you who don't know, Attrax is the career site system that powers career sites like Admiral, Wix, S&C Lavalin, Atkins on a global scale, Vodafone, and Mitchells and Butler, the large pub and restaurant group in the UK. Before we actually start talking with Ellie and Ben, I'd like to just have a quick snapshot poll, just to basically get some information on what you're interested in and what your objectives are for your career site. So if you'd like to just quickly indicate or just click the box for which of these is the most important, it'd be great to go through. So whilst we do this, I'd like to introduce you to Ellie and Ben. Ellie is the recruitment team manager at Admiral, and she's been responsible for the implementation of the career site from the Admiral side. And we've got Ben Moriarty, who is the recruitment manager and one of the key stakeholders. So if we can close the poll now, I'd like to introduce the two of them. Hi, Ben. And hi, Ellie. So as I mentioned, just a quick introduction to you, but if you'd like to introduce yourselves and your part of the project, that'd be wonderful.
So I'm Ellie. As DJ said, I was responsible for the implementation of the new website. So my current role is the engagement manager. So we're responsible for all of the social platforms and the implementation of the website, and going forward will be the upkeep of the new site as well.
Cool. Ben.
Thanks, Ellie. My name's Ben Moriarty. I'm the recruitment manager in Admiral. I've been in the business for 15 years. So I've worked in Admiral for 15 years. I've been in recruitment for 13 of those years. So seen quite a few changes over that period. And I guess my role in this was to help get the buy-in of more senior managers and get the team buy-in as well, and I guess help Ellie liaise with the business.
Cool. And Ben, over those 15 years, you must have seen a lot of change. Okay, you haven't quite got the grey hairs that I have, but during that period, I think put it in perspective. You've been in recruitment. You started in recruitment when the iPhone first launched. So how's it changed for you? Yeah,
well, firstly, you would be able to see the grey hairs if it wasn't for the dark lighting in you. So there's a purpose to that.
Yeah.
So I mean, going back 15 years, we would be calling the local newspaper to see if we could place an ad in the local newspaper to advertise recruitment positions and vacancies throughout the group. We didn't have an applicant tracking system. We just worked off Excel. We didn't have a recruitment website. There was no onboarding. So everything was very, very manual. I mean, the recruitment landscape within Admiral has just changed incredibly. We've gone from, I mean, I go back 13 years ago, we had a team of 6 contact center recruiters at the time, and now we've got a team of almost 30 recruiters split across 5 specialist teams within recruitment. So the entire landscape has changed, and yeah, it's been a pretty incredible journey, really.
And what have the last 6 months been like? I mean, obviously, coronavirus, COVID, it's changing the way we live and work. How's it impacted you guys?
Yeah, I mean, the last 6 months have been a little bit of a roller coaster, if I'm honest. We never worked remotely as a recruitment function, and we had to go from switching to being an office-based team to a 100% operational remote team overnight, which certainly did bring its challenges with it. So we got 3 offices in South Wales, and then overnight we went from having 3 offices to almost 7,000 offices with everybody working from home. And there were technology issues. There were we had I guess hiring managers not wanting to put positions live because of the uncertainty. And yeah, it was a big challenge, but we got into a routine fairly quickly, which I think was really important. And we've been incredibly busy over the last 6 months. So over the last 6 months, we've hired just over 400 people. So we certainly didn't put the brakes on, and there's a lot of uncertainty out there in the jobs market. And I think we've used that to our advantage. We're still growing as a business, so rather than putting the brakes on recruitment, we've used the opportunity and try and. There's a lot of talent out there at the moment, and we're in a very fortunate position to pick up on that.
No, that's interesting to hear, and I think it's interesting what you said about there, using the opportunity to grow in terms of the talent that's out there and having this an opportunity. For both of you, if you wouldn't mind, casting your mind back, to this time last year. Well, not even this time last year. It was actually March, April 2019, Ellie, when you and I first started talking. When you were looking at the career site, why did you need a new career site, and what were your objectives at the time?
So I think the main objectives were, we knew we had an out-of-date website. Back then, our website was more catered to appeal to contact center staff or contact center candidates. Back then, probably 80% of our recruitment were for contact center positions. And then over the 6 years we had the previous website for, the business changed rapidly. Contact center recruitment became less and less. We become more reliant on the sort of tech industry. We wanted to appeal to more professional candidates for finance, marketing, governance, IT, InfoSec. Those are the growth areas, and we needed a website that I guess matched our growth needs as a business.
That's interesting what you say about there in terms of the change from, I suppose, insurance being perceived as contact center, telephone call centers, to being a more of a tech organization. What was it in terms of, one of the things in terms of how have you sort of how are you thinking about using the career site to actually start telling those stories?
Okay, so with the new, I'll give you an example. So on the previous website, it was very rigid in that it wasn't flexible. We weren't able to make changes quickly, and the business is growing so quick and is diversifying, and the recruitment needs are growing. We needed to have a website that could be as flexible as our business. So we had departments coming to us on a regular basis saying, we'd like to do this, or we'd like to add that, but we were being held back by the cost of making such changes, the time in making such changes, which was a real barrier really in us being able to be a collaborative recruitment function and working with the business to be their recruitment partners. So with the new website, it's incredibly flexible, and we can make all the changes ourselves. And Ellie and her team have got the flexibility to be able to go into the back end of the system and make structural changes, use the artificial intelligence software with the dynamic pages, and it just allows us to be able to react to the business needs instantly, really, and allows us to be able to make propositions to the department. So rather than being very reactive to the business needs, it allows us to be more proactive.
So you'd say that, would you say that, you know, one of the key objectives was to be, as a recruitment team and talent attraction team, to be more agile in terms of actually being able to do things quickly rather than having to wait 2 to 3 weeks to actually do something?
Yeah, and including a development cost and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've got you. So when you went out and looked at, you know, career sites, you know, I think Ellie, you were stalking us for a while.
Yeah.
But in terms of, you know, when you went out, what options did you look at?
Okay, so I mean, we were essentially looking for a business that we could partner with, that is very honest and upfront. We needed to be able to make sure that they could work in collaboration with our applicant tracking system provider, 3D Marcoms. We needed somebody that could understand us as a business. But I guess the main thing for us is that we could invest in a sustainable career website, so we could have a long-lasting relationship. Like I said, the main objective for us is that we've got a dynamic and flexible career website that we can keep updated ourselves, and we can make the structural changes as and when the business needs. So I think with Attrax, you guys offer the best proposition for us in that flexibility, and you seem like really nice people as well, and I think that's important to us.
Yeah.
Ellie, this is specific to you. I think, you know, we talked about, you know, continuing updates, and we talked about, you know, updating features. But what was something that you mentioned to me about that in terms of that update? The updates are not just about the front end functionality; it's also about what you want.
Yeah, I think it's something that was really appealing to us is that we get a say in how the system works and the functionality, and you know, it's not a case of having to say, oh, please can you do this? You know, it's very collaborative, and you know, you're taking our feedback on board as well, which I think is, you know, was such a huge sort of appeal for us.
Yeah, no, I think that's interesting. I think it's a case of often we talk about your candidate experience, but it's also important in terms of the user experience.
Yeah.
I mean, look at, you know, the sites, you know, the project, you know, you were involved with the project all the way through. How did you find? I mean, how did you find it? I mean, what were the sort of like the what was it actually like to be part of a project moving forward?
Yeah, it was great. Well, in the middle of a global pandemic, it was interesting. No, it was brilliant. I'm not a tech person at all, and I think the thing that really stood out to me and the rest of the team was that you guys were on hand. You held our hand all the way through it. The tech aspects, we didn't need to be technical. We didn't need to, you know, have a background in IT. You know, you guys really sort of made a huge impact, and you almost sort of took the pressure off us. We were concentrating on content, you guys were concentrating on all the clever stuff behind the scenes, and you know, that made such a difference, because if you asked us to do the technical side, we would have struggled.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's making it. I think it's making it easy. It's something I mean, and from when I've sat your side of the fence, it's about having that easeability. So now the site is live. You know, how has it changed your approach to talent attraction?
So like I mentioned earlier, really, I mean, it allows us to be a lot more proactive, so we can go to the departments with suggestions and ideas, and on how we can better promote these growth areas. I think a couple of highlights for me, not just in highlighting the roles that we're recruiting for, but a couple of weeks ago, it was we did a women in IT week. So Ellie and her team put some great content together for us to post on social media, and then when they arrived from Facebook or LinkedIn, they were welcomed on the website with a really nice Women in IT banner, and so it's just those little things, I guess, that make a big difference. It almost gives us a nice little unique selling point that I don't really see very much on other recruitment websites. It allows us to, I guess, promote the sort of growth areas, so the digital tech, analytics, and like I said, we can be much more creative on the website. So when they're landing on the website, it really gives us an opportunity to shine light on how much of a growth area those are, and how much of a great company and great department those areas are to work in.
No, I think that telling that story, and I think Ellie, you guys with the team, you create a lot of content. What sort of content are you creating at the moment in terms of what are the plans?
Yeah, well, a little bit of everything. We're still playing with all the functionality. We're still learning. So blogs are a huge focus for us. So, we're trying to tell our story authentically, and we want people to see that it's not just us saying Admiral's great. We want you to meet the people who work with us and the people who make Admiral a great place. So lots of content based on sort of articles with, I suppose, interviews, but also things like our awards that we're winning. So I think it was last week we placed in one of the best graduate employers, and it was very much a case of, okay, we can put a banner on our homepage, we can leave it there until we feel it's, we can move it just to the grad page. So it's very much a little bit of everything, and just still getting used to all of the functionality, where we can put things, and where our articles and our blogs and our content can be most impactful.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's good that you're telling that story through the employees. I know that's something. And I think also you use those articles, but you don't just write them as a sort of like recruitment marketing team. You actually post them against actually recruiters for particular areas. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. So that's something that we loved when we first met you, and you were showing us some of the other sites that you've made, and the recruiter profiles would just stand out to us. Oh my gosh, we can put a name to a face, or a face to a name, and for us to be able to, I think previously on all of our job adverts we had a sentence written at the bottom saying, if you'd like to find out more, please email Ellie@Admiral. And it was very old school. It did the job, but it was old school. And then all of a sudden we've got this new platform where you can instantly message a recruiter, you can see who the recruiter is, and it's just a little bit more of a personalized experience. And also Ben mentioned about the relevant content and making sure that candidates are getting a good experience, so if you click on one of our recruiters, you'll see all of their roles. So the chances are you're probably going to be interested in some of these as well. So just making it a little bit more like a shopping experience, which I know we've talked about before.
Yeah. No, and I think that links in what you just said there about relevant content. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, HR Tech the Admiral Tech team were really quite keen to be able to create the content. How have they felt with the new career site? They
love it. So yeah, we've been working really closely with them actually on content and things, and just being able to. One of our favourite features is the fact that we can display our tech stack, and it's not just a list of words, it's not bullet points, it's very visual, it looks nice, and yeah, so we're working with those, we're working with lots of other areas of the business, and just as I said, learning as we're going along really, and trying different things. We're very much a try and learn team. Yeah. So we think, right, we'll try it, see how it looks. If it doesn't, we'll quickly remove it before anyone sees.
I think that really highlights actually what Ellie just said. Is I think what makes us what I think is a really successful recruitment function is our ability to collaborate with the various departments, and I think the closer we are to the departments that we're hiring for, and the better relationships that we've got with them, it just makes things a lot smoother in the recruitment process and the dynamics of the team. And I think having the ability for us to be able to go forward to the departments and say, this is what we can do. What do you think of this? Rather than them coming to us with ideas, say, can we change it? Can we do that? we're one step ahead of them now, and we're going to them with different ideas. And I think for us, from a reputation standpoint within the business, as a sort of forward-thinking, dynamic team, we're at that place now where we can go to these departments and contribute ideas rather than being on the back foot when they come to us.
Yeah, no, I think that is probably what every talent attraction recruitment team would want to aspire to, is in terms of being able to actually, I suppose, go to the business managers and actually, come up with ideas around what they want, how you can attract people better and how you can do it. We'll take questions. I'll just say, if anybody's got any questions, we've got a few people who have added into the chat box on the little panel, but if you have any questions for Ben and Ellie, please put them in. I'm just going to ask one final question really of you, Ellie, because I mean, obviously the site's been live almost 3 months. Your visibility in Google's improving, but what excites you about the future? What's next?
I think just taking it to the next level. So it is still early days. We only launched in July, and we are playing around with features, but there's still so much. And as Attrax develops and implements new features, I suppose it's getting our head around those and working out how they can work for us. The artificial intelligence, we're not fully utilizing all of that at the moment, so the kind of bespoke candidate journeys, making sure that people are seeing the relevant content, we're not fully utilizing that yet. But yeah, I guess every day's a school day. We're we're constantly playing with it, we're constantly, I'm not going to say breaking it, but we are constantly trying to review it. I think our old website, we're the first to say it wasn't great. We knew that it needed improvement. We knew that it needed some attention, but we just didn't have the time, the resource, the budgets. Whereas now we're so excited. We've got a dedicated team, which we've never had before, and we can make these changes, and we can, we spoke about the International Women's Day and all the faces on our website turning the males off just for that one day, and just staying current and doing really quirky little things that we would never have been able to do before.
Cool. We've just got what you're just talking about there in terms of being able to target content. We've just had a question come in saying, let me just read this. Do you have the ability to create landing pages for campaigns? So setting up pages for actual campaigns. I think you've done one for Facebook, haven't you?
We haven't yet. We have talked about it, but we haven't done any landing pages yet. But no, we've also talked about the linking roles. So as an example, within our, if we're looking for tech roles, so we have our tech department for Admiral, but then we also have various sub departments within it. So for example, Vago, they might also be, or Pioneer, they might also be recruiting for tech roles. So we're looking at landing pages for people for all of the tech roles, because at the moment I think you're clicking on tech, you're seeing just Admiral, but what we actually want to do is make sure that people can say, well, this one might be applicable as well, you might be interested in this, and sort of cross department. So that's probably going to be one of the next steps that we take with that.
So using the existing landing pages for tech and IT and things like that to actually then cross link in with getting more niche, using the functionality to get more niche. No, that sounds good. We've got another question that's just come through actually, and I think this is, let me just read this. I think you've answered this. Did you need technical experience? Do you need technical experience, or did you need technical experience to manage the site?
Absolutely not. I'm the least techie person ever. I'm really happy to admit that. But it was amazing, it was great. We didn't need that tech experience, and something that I think we really appreciated, myself and the team, was that before launch we could go in, we were uploading content, we were playing with the site. We only had 2 catastrophes, so we deleted the search function twice. I think we broke the navigation once, but luckily that was before launch. So I think we were able to play with it, have all our learning curves before launch, and now we're quite confident with it. But no technical experience at all.
That's good to know. And we've got another one around candidate experience and applicant tracking system. Yeah, what can you say about the new site with that integration into the ATS? How's that's improved?
I guess it's seamless. I don't think you would ever know from a candidate's perspective that the apply pages and the rest of the website are hosted by two separate businesses. And the integration piece as a whole, I think you guys kind of, I don't want to say took us out of it, but you guys worked together so closely and made it so easy for us that we almost didn't need to do anything. You know, you took it out of our hands. It was, you know, you just worked together, you made it happen, and yeah, it was great. And that's something that was really important to us because, you know, we've had our ATS for many years, and you know, it's great, it works for us, so we didn't want anything sort of happening or, you know, any issues with the integration. So no, that was definitely sort of a highlight for us, I think.
Actually, it's interesting. There was another question just came in just exactly at that time. Somebody said they're implementing it, or they're looking to implement a new career site. They want to integrate the ATS, but their IT or HRIT have said it's really complex, going to be lots of hours. They haven't got time for it. What would you say to that? I mean, how involved with your IT team?
They pretty much weren't. It was only when it was time for the pen test, that's when they stepped in. But again, it was very much you guys worked closely with the relevant IT team, and you know, almost sort of made that happen without us needing to do anything, without us needing to chase. So it was very, again, seamless, with very limited time and effort needed from the IT department throughout the whole process.
I think that's a good thing just to reflect on, because that's often one of the challenges that people get, is a case of, oh, IT, we haven't got time, we've got all these projects on, so it's good to hear. Great, I think that's all the questions we've had. Is there anything else you guys would want to say to people before we wind up? No?
I just want to say thank you for taking the time and tuning in. This is the first time Ellie and I have done anything like this, and it's been a really enjoyable experience, and thank you to DJ and B from Attrax as well for setting it up. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Ben. That's really good. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ellie. It's been really great for you to be on it. I will just mention that this was a warm-up for Ben. He's actually globally hosting Admiral's Got Talent tomorrow, where he'll have everybody from Admiral who's on the talent show. He did actually win it 1 year. So I just thought I'd mention that. But everybody, thank you very much. We'll be sharing this recording with you. And again, if you want any more information, just let us know. Thank you very much.